Beau Kilmer, and I co-direct the RAND Drug Policy Research Center. What's happening now really is unprecedented. In November of 2012, the voters in Washington and Colorado passed initiatives that not only removed prohibition, but actually allowed for-profit companies to come in and begin producing and distributing marijuana. I mean, not even the Netherlands goes that far. The goal of the report was not to say whether or not a jurisdiction should do X or whether or not a jurisdiction should do Y, but is really to kind of provide a foundation for these discussions and also highlight the uncertainties that surround tax revenues and also the public health implications. Marijuana legalization is not a binary choice. Too often in the United States, the discussion is either about marijuana prohibition or allowing for-profit commercial models, something kind of like regulate marijuana like alcohol. One of the goals for the report was to really help jurisdictions understand that if they're thinking about doing something other than prohibiting marijuana, they have a lot of options there. For example, you could allow home production or maybe a Spanish-style marijuana cooperative. Or even if you wanted to create large-scale production and generate revenue, you don't necessarily have to have it, have for-profit companies doing the production. For example, you could have a state monopoly where the state does the distribution and the production. Now, of course, that doesn't get a lot of attention in the United States because of the federal prohibition. But there are other models. There's public authorities. You could have nonprofits doing the actual distribution and production. Remember, nonprofit is not the same as non-revenue. And also, and if you're going to create an industry, you could also have one that's focused on socially responsible businesses. And that is, whether they be for-benefit corporations or B Corps, where the idea being is the businesses would focus on the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profits. Because the thing you need to keep in mind is that if you are going to create an industry, you may not necessarily want to create one that's only focused on maximizing profit. If Vermont were to legalize retail sales, aggressively tax marijuana, and essentially get rid of the black market, we estimated that they could make anywhere between $20 to $75 million a year just selling marijuana to Vermonters. Now, of course, this also comes with an increase in consumption. And so, the only way you're going to get that $75 million is also if you have something that's close to a doubling in consumption. But the real question for Vermont is what they're going to do about out-of-state residents. It turns out if you look at the market, the number of kind of regular marijuana users in Vermont, if you go just 50 miles outside of the Vermont borders, you have 5 times the number of marijuana users that you have within the state. And if you go 200 miles, you have 40 times the number of users as compared to what's in the state. So Vermont's going to have to decide how much of that market they want to, how much of that market that they're going to want to supply with drug tourism. But you have to keep in mind, if Vermont starts making a lot of money off of this, other states may also be more interested in legalizing.